Welcome to our March Details University Live Masterclass. I'm your host, Corrine Heck, and I am so happy to be joined with my dear friend, Carmen Marquez from Ball SB. Welcome, Carmen. How are you doing?
Hi, Corinne. How are you? I'm doing great. Thank you.
Yes, I'm so excited to talk to you, Carmen. I feel like you've been a mad woman running behind the scenes to make this Duel of the Delphiniums contest, along with Miranda on our team, make it just come together so amazing. So I'm so excited to share and announce who our finalists are.
Yes, I am excited too. I've already seen a couple of the designs they have shared with me, and I think I have done sneak previews on Bee's Instagram account. So a lot of them already have a very first sight on them, but still that doesn't count because what counts is who we pick up this afternoon and who they're battling against.
Yes, I love it. It's like quite the duel. Well, we've known each other for many years now, and we did the same contest 2 years ago with sunflowers,
Yeah.
and that went so well. We thought, let's bring a new flower to the challenge. So, why delphinium?
Delphiniums is a crop, it's a species that is only used or mostly used for events. And a lot of people know mainly the big 150-meter long delphiniums, right? So we have a lot of delphiniums that are shorter that can be used in other designs different than decoration for big hotels. And we want everybody to know, oh, what is available: spray delphiniums, lavender delphiniums, colored delphiniums, and to start using integrating them more often into their designs.
Yeah, wonderful. So you are the marketing director at Ball SB. What
Correct.
is that you do on the day to day? And can you kind of give a brief overview of what Ball is, if for those that might not know?
All right. Well, for those who don't know, Ball SB is part of the Ball Horticulture Group. Ball is a breeder and distributor of vegetative materials for all kinds of flowers, for gardens, for pots, and for cut flowers. They are based in Chicago, and Ball SB is the subsidiary down in Colombia for cut flowers. Our main markets are farms in Colombia, Ecuador, Central America, Mexico, and Kenya for the European markets. And
Okay.
what we do, we only do cut flowers. We don't do any pot or gardens. What we do is that we have commercial varieties, a lot of commercial varieties. Probably you already know the sunflower business choice is one of the breeds that we represent because we also represent third-party breeders. Another one that is very popular are the Delphinium Guardian White or the stocks that are a lot of very widely used in the industry. Uh, but we're also breeders, and what breeders are is that we look for those new flowers or genetically materials that are in perhaps in a garden. And since we have our breeders, we think, how can we bring that flower into the cut flower industry, making it stronger, making it tall, being able to travel, to have the base life enough for it. So that's what we do. We do a breeding of new varieties, and we also commercialize standing varieties. What I do in particular is promote them. So pretty much the commercial varieties are mostly sold on their own. And my role is to see how we can have faster introduction of a new varieties. For instance, a new one that we're working on right now is a Geratum JJ. A lot of you have seen it in the different shows that I've been. It's kind of like a fluffy between gypsophila, but with a limonium status kind of thing. And so I take him to the different shows where I meet Chris Corrine all the time. In this past 4 weeks, I've seen her like 3 times already. And so I take him to the shows, show it to the importers, also to florists. I was also at the SAF. To let them know this is coming, what their thoughts are, and they can give me their feedback on whether they think that's something that is nice or not nice, and or if it's already available or not available, when could it be available, and who can sort they could source them from, or until when they could source them.
Yeah.
So that's what I do.
I know you spend so much time at all the conventions, the same as me. We're going and but you gave such a fascinating presentation this year and also years past of telling about the life cycle of a flower and how you guys go into so much breeding or how you develop these products. Can you like give a small glimpse of what that might look like or how long that process takes?
It's a very long process. There's very different stages. So
Mhm.
we start with the breeding and selection, where the breeders start doing a selection of and cross with different hybrids and selecting which key traits that we want. We want to breed for a taller stem. We want to breed for a stem that is resistant to pests and diseases. We want a new color. We want a new shade, a new variety. Like I was telling you, we see a plant that is very nicely known in the gardens. Marigolds were grown from the gardens. And then we're like, I think this is something that we can bring into cut flowers. So we decide which trait what we want to work on, and that's our breeding objective. Then after the breeding and selecting, where we already kind of know what we're looking for, and we already have a prototype, that all this process that I just explained can take up like 5 years.
I
You have to
know.
choose parental line, see what the crosses are. It's like it's all like our regular DNA, a mom and a dad. You cross them with the pollen, different breeding techniques with uh, bees, etc., etc. And then you get to a product, a prototype. Now,
Yeah.
once we have a prototype with enough quantities for trials, we do internal trials. We first test them in our R&D stations. We have
Mm.
R&D stations in Colombia, Ecuador, and in Kenya, because not all products grow the same in all different environments, different
Mm.
altitudes, different temperatures. So we verify how long of a cycle it takes from planting to growing. It might be 10 weeks in one country, it can be 12 weeks in another country. We determine whether the flower needs lightning or not lightning. We determine if they need a specific nutrition to grow at a specific rate. Or sometimes even flowers like to sleep longer. So we put shades into the bed so they can have longer nights, or we put lightnings if they need longer days. So all
Yeah.
those things we try to figure out what's the best process for each specific variety. Each variety has its own trials.
Wow.
Once we figure out, okay, so this one has 12 weeks, it needed 6 hours of night, it needs this nutrition, you need to stop the watering at week 4, you need to start hydration at week 5. So we already know all the process, because then we are the experts to tell our growers how to grow them, right? Once we
Yeah.
get to that past, then we have to do the vase life testing and the shipping testing, because it doesn't matter if it produces a very beautiful variety at the field, but if it doesn't last in the vase or it doesn't travel, then the the flower is not good, right?
Yeah.
So the shipping testing goes through. So we do all those shipping simulation, our old code rooms here in Bogota, and also sending them to the event. So once I get them to the event, I can see how they're behaving, if they arrived well, if they did not arrive well. And then we determine with the R&D team if the flower was fast enough, it grew tall enough, at least 60 centimeters to be suitable for the cut flower market. If it doesn't require a lot of pinching, maybe, so that's a lot of labor or not labor. It depends on whether the farm wants to put that labor into their costs. Uh, we're determined, okay, so we're good. This variety grows well. This variety travels well, and it stands at least 6 to 8, 10, 12 days in base life, whatever we determine it's good for the variety. Once we know that tracking, then we start showing it to the growers. Hey, I have this new variety. Do you want a trial? Come see it in our open days, like what we did last week, where we had all the
Yeah.
flowers showing at our R&D side. We have a four greenhouses full of our varieties. So they had like a field day. The growers would go by and walk, and they started asking about the different crops that we had. And then we send them seeds and tell them, okay, so this one you had to put lightning, you don't have to put lightning, and they do their own trials. And then
Yeah.
there, we don't have any say so, because the farms already have the procedures. So if they are using X nutrition, or if they don't want to put lights, or if they don't want to put the
Shape.
shades for the longer nights, it's up to them. We tell them our recommendation is this, and if not, it doesn't work. So if the trial doesn't work because they didn't want to follow the recommendations, perfect. Or if the flower, they don't put the program in. But if the
Yeah.
flower came just a little bit different with a slight different changes, that's their way of producing that flower. So that's why the different varieties, that's why the different qualities can differ from each of the farms with the same variety, right?
Yeah.
Once they determine the flower, the same thing as we did, how long it took, if they travel, if they didn't travel, what's their base life, that can take another 1 year for us and then maybe another year for them. And they
Yeah.
tell, okay, so we want this program and we want to grow 5 hectares. In 5 hectares, we need, I don't know, X amount of cuttings or seeds, but we can or we cannot have the product on hand because, I mean, these are new varieties. So it's not like there is the product is fresh in the refrigerator. So then we had to go back and say, okay, we can deliver these huge quantities in another year, or we
Mhm.
can start in a small scale because we already have these quantities within 3 months.
Yeah. There's so many hands that touch the products that I think that people are just so aware how unaware of how long it takes to get from this is what we're going to grow to this is what we have. So there are probably over 60 or 70 varieties that you have showcased on details. So we are also doing our own kind of research and development to see what products we have that our people are gravitating towards that we share and we often talk about so that you get extra data and insights too. So I think it's just so much hand holding that goes into bringing these products to be. This is why a contest like this is, I think, is so exciting because you're sending out this gorgeous product that has been, tested, retested, grown, and now let's see how the designers work with it, or is there something new that they'll come up with to help people really
Exactly.
gravitate towards more of the
And that
product?
was exactly our main objective because there is this thing where delphiniums are just blue and white and there's these huge stems. And we were sending here spray delphiniums. We were sending here delphiniums that are in lavender colors and cream colors. They are totally different. They're shorter stems, not the 40 centimeter shorter stems, but still within the range that is acceptable. But not only for like the basic thing of what they think of delphiniums, but a flower that can be more used in a daily on the daily bouquets or arrangement or decor.
Yeah. So let's go back a little bit before we jump into like who the contestants are. How did you get started in flowers, Carmen? Have you always been like a flower lover, or where did you how did you end up in this role?
No, I've only been in the industry for 6 years,
Okay.
from 2019. And
You're
if
just
you
a
would,
baby. You're just
yes,
a baby.
I'm absolutely a baby. If you would have asked me 7 years ago what's my favorite flower, I probably would have said rose or sunflower because those were the only two I knew. I wasn't into flowers that much. My mother loves flowers. She has her garden. She's always gardening her roses and cutting and doing all that kind of things that they like to do. But it wasn't me. And one day, a very good friend, she used to work at Florals, the Association of the Colombian Exporters. And she said that at Ball, they were looking for for a marketing person that had experience in marketing in a consumer goods company because they wanted to bring a fresh perspective on how to do things differently in the industry. And that's when I got an interview with Juana, and we just clicked very well because it's doing things differently, reshaping the industry with marketing ideas that were different back in the time, and to get out of the box on how to market the flowers and treat it as a consumer goods will be treated as, and not as a family owned business.
Yeah. Well, I think that's really one of the things that sets you guys apart. I mean, you're at almost every event. I feel like you're often sponsoring things so that florists actually can share and have places to go. So we really appreciate all that Ball does. And we, of course, love that you guys have partnered up with us to get more of these products into the hands of florists because they need to know what's new or coming out or just so that we can communicate, more easily between the whole line from the breeder all the way down the supply chain to the actual consumer. So I think that this is all good. Um, and you have some remarkable videos that I'm going to ask Miranda to share in our wrap up because I feel like everybody should see them. Whenever I see that video just kind of describing the company, it's just so beautifully executed and I think it really shares what we do so well.
Exactly, where flowers come from. It's a very good way of explaining how the breeding process is and what we do.
Yeah. Well, how does ball like stay ahead of like different challenges that might be like everyone faces like climate change or um all of those of like water quality or do you guys take any of that into like
Well, for climate change, or the temperatures are getting higher sometimes, or there's more rain. The breeders are looking for resistance to certain diseases. For instance, sunflower get downy mildew. So
Mhm.
even if you see the same Vincent choice, they're developing and developing and developing a variety that is stronger to this pest disease that is called downy mildew. So it's the new variety is called Vincent choice DMR, downy mildew resistant. So it's
Oh,
we're constantly searching for ways of being more resistant for things that can be affected by climate changes, or a flower that can be planted at a higher temperature in Central America has higher temperatures than what they do here in Colombia or in Ecuador. So there's varieties that have been bred for that kind of weather. And a lot of other times, we also recommend to plant in greenhouses because it's more resistant and you won't have
the
to have
environment.
the grain involved in it. But whenever the cold weather gets in, like in January in Bogota, where temperatures drop to -2 degrees or two between up to 2 degrees, that's where we had to do management of freezing managements to maintain the flowers still fresh. So we try to keep sustainability in mind, breeding for things that could be affected by the weather and climate changes.
Yeah, one of the big discussions this week at Congressional Action Days was staying ahead of the trends and how do like because it takes so long to get a product to market, how much influence would you say the feedback that florists give you on certain products um, changes the direction of what you're doing?
I think we do get into consideration their feedbacks. Uh, we still do continue on developing the entire cross of the life cycle of the flower because it just takes so long of a time that we want to have the growers' feedback on what their final position is on whether the variety works on the field or it doesn't work on the field.
Yeah.
We do get their feedback to say, for instance, no, this is not the right time for this kind of color. And then that added up with we have two feedbacks, the consumer and the growers. So if we had to make these two work together, but if one of these two don't work, then we stop on the processing of this flower. But
Wow.
this might have not been the right time for this variety in this particular time. But since we don't know what's going to be the trend in the next 2 years,
I
that's
know
why
they
we
talk to
maintain
all of
all.
us. Yeah, no, when you're developing something new, we should be like talking to Pantone and be like, this is the color that you need to say is the color of the year.
Well, we do maintain all the genetics.
Yeah.
So if something didn't work 3 years ago, I still have all the genetics, and we go back to the lab to say, hey, this is something that is can work now. And we retake the conversation again with the growers, for instance, that they had stopped. Hey, you already trialed it, and now this is the color of the year, and they start introducing the program or not. So just keeping a record of everything, the feedback from both sides can give us good insights on whether to continue or stop, but pretty much to make it useful in the near future. for when the new color comes around.
We have a comment from someone. I think
Yes,
I
I
see
see.
Christy Berry says, Your delphinium is incredible. It holds up so well too. So many colors and varieties. I didn't know about Sunshine, which is perfect for bouquets because it is a spray. Thank you.
That's what I was saying. Yes, it's a spray delphinium true blue,
Yeah.
very nicely, and it's very sturdy. I even saw someone battling with it.
Yes, I saw that. I didn't know if I should repost that, but I thought the music was too good with that. So hopefully those were some leftovers and wasn't anything because they looked like really pretty before they went to battle. So, but it was a testament to the strength of how well your product holds up, even under the harshest of conditions, like a duel.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, um, you were recently announced as a new advisory board member of That Flower Feeling. Can you tell us about that campaign in case people aren't aware, which they should entirely be aware of it, but let's just share
They
that
should
before we
be.
cover.
I'm
Yes,
gonna tell you about it. Well, that flower feeling is a movement that we all have the same objective in the industry to promote the more consumption of flowers within the American household. How? By promoting this beautiful campaign of self well-being, right? And how having this luxury is not an expensive thing to bring to pamper yourself and to bring joy and life into your everyday life, and it's a good way of doing it. So with the flower filling, it's one of those industry campaigns like the got milk campaign that there was years ago with milk, and the objective is that how can more Americans be buying themselves flowers for their well-being, and that's the main objective of these campaigns. But it is not unfunded. I mean, it is funded by all of us. It is funded by the growers, it is funded by the breeders, it is funded by the florists, by the wholesalers, by the importers. If each all of us work towards this one campaign, we're working towards one main objective, and it's increasing the sales, the floral sales, right? So it's not that one company is going to be selling more, than the floor is going to be selling more, that the supermarkets are going to be selling more. If we all work in this thing together, we all going to thrive from it.
wonderful. I love that. And I'm very big advocate. We've put up forward our monthly fund to just support that campaign. But I try to buy flowers from mostly from our local florist. But if I have to pick some up from the supermarket, we do that too. So it's like get flowers however you can, wherever, and share them with everybody. And I
Okay.
think that message is really a great one. So
And it's not
um,
only about giving donations, but also you can work with your locals, as maybe you give them some brochures or something to put onto some visibility to create that hypeness in the stores, and people will start buying more, and then do some kind of trade-offs with whoever your source is. It's all about promoting it in all touch points, digital, visibility, even the sleeves at the stores,
yeah.
from that feeling.
Well, and they've made some really great assets for everyone to share. So from a marketing perspective, they've done all the work for us. We just
Right,
have to get out there and share the message. So it's like, how much better does it get than that when someone has done all the work for you? You just have to use
exactly.
your power to like share that. A lot of what we've been doing here with Duel of the Delphiniums, because I feel like this contest has been so successful on a campaign. I feel like we've had hundreds and hundreds of people that applied to be in it. And we really went down and we culled it down to just, I think, 20 or 21 boxes that we shipped out, all or you shipped out. So thank you very much, which was quite the headache. I can
It was. Some of them didn't survive, didn't travel that well, but we made it manage to almost the majority of the contestants who we chose.
Yeah, well, and we had other people that, we kind of opened this up as like a surprise to other people if they wanted to go to their particular wholesaler and get this product, they could also submit their design. So I'm really happy to announce that 10 of the people that were shipped boxes to are in competitive and are competing, but we also had 6 sweethearts that weren't sent your boxes but also sent in fantastic designs. So I would love to jump into this, Carmen, and break down because I know we have a few people watching that are applied.
Countdown, right?
Yes. I think that's great. You know, I have a bowl and we have 16 people in here. And I wasn't quite sure how we should do this because it's a bracket style competition, right? So it's
Mhm.
March Madness. So it's a duel. And people are going to be sharing this link so that their friends and family will vote. But there's basically, it's going to start with 8 separate sets of people that are competing against each other. So I thought which would be completely random is to pull these names out to see who's contestant and who's competing against each other. And then voting starts tomorrow. So
So
that
it's whoever is getting the most votes, right? And
whoever
within
gets
those
the
eight
most
sets.
yes, and then they'll compete on the so this first round, I think it ends I think this Friday, as then we'll annex the next bracket and then they'll have a point and then we'll announce who's in the next bracket until we get down to just 2 people competing against each other. So this will be fun.
So get ready to tell all your friends to start voting.
Yes, and it's some pretty good prizes too. So I know that you guys are giving $500 worth of product of pretty much anything that is featured on details. So if they have a certain item that they're in love with, whoever the winner is, they're going to get that. They're
Right.
also going to get a complimentary ticket to the SAF convention in Arizona. So not flights or hotels, just the admission to the event.
Just the admission itself is like $800.
Yes, it's a great prize.
Right.
They're also getting a 1 year's subscription to Florist Management
Floral
magazine
management. Yes.
management, and then a year's subscription to Details. So I think there's a lot of customers that are mixed in through this, and also non-customers. So whoever gets this is really going to be the champion. So are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready. I'm excited.
Who's
Let's see.
nervous?
Let's see.
Okay. So the first contestant in the round one bracket is Kat Pat Castanelli.
Castagnoli from
Yes, she's from Florist Review.
California, right?
Yes, she's from California. So she's competing against who is she competing against here? Another one.
Perfect.
I know. Kat, you're gonna be against Jill Heaton, one of our customers. So that's great. They both were shipped boxes, so they're both in the bracket together. So good luck, you two.
Good luck.
I know, and you get to see what the designs are. It's going to be on our landing page for this site. In the next couple of hours, we're going to send out messages. Okay, so this is our first sweetheart. She didn't get a box, but Laura Clegg submitted a gorgeous design. So congratulations, Laura. Who will you be competing against?
Dun, dun, dun. I need to do the
B. Ember.
rumble.
She also was not shipped a box of flowers. So congratulations. Is it B or Bay? I don't know. I don't
Bea, maybe from
Yeah.
Beatrice.
Okay,
In
that's
Spanish, it will be Bea from
okay.
Beatrice.
Wonderful. We're very excited for you. Congratulations. Oh, how do you enter? It's too late to enter. That
The
was
contest.
the like
I'm
3
already announcing the contestants who are going against who.
All right, round 3 is another sweetheart, Matthew Norman from New York City. He's a New York City designer. He also owns a peony farm. So that's very exciting. And
Interesting.
who's he competing against here? Ah, Chelsea Chelsea Larson. Wonderful.
Nice. She was also another sweetheart
I think she was super, so it's crazy.
because her name doesn't feel familiar
Yeah,
from
I think she was a sweetheart, but she's also a customer, so she must have seen it and just didn't enter in time or get selected, and she wanted to compete anyway. So it's not exciting. All right, round 4. This
see.
is Jason Munn. This is our dueling guy who is beating
That's
up.
our dual guy, the one who was
Yeah,
fighting with the delphiniums. I
Damon.
didn't know whether
Good luck.
to laugh or cry with the delphiniums being destroyed
I
or
know.
laugh because it was funny.
It was great music selection there, Jason, I have to say. All right, so he's competing against, I'm trying not to cheat here, Andy Mueller. Andy's been a really contestant there. She has been posting all the time and she's got a lot of
She did her
Instagram followers.
scratch, right? She even shared the scratch on how she made the square, the
Yeah, she
rectangle.
did. Yeah, I'm really excited about that. So good luck to Jason and Andy. All right, going down our 5th round, our 5th set of contestants are, congratulations, Sheldon Jensen. He's a finalist. Very nice. He was on but
Sheldon.
next gen. So
He
that
was he was one that I was in contact with this weekend.
oh
Long-
good. No, he was like, "Give me my flowers."
Yeah, where are my flowers? I'm like, they're getting there. Please.
He's competing against oh, this is another sweetheart, Tammy Crane. So
Tammy, congratulations.
congratulations. So those two are gonna compete against each other. This is I'm very nervous for all of these people. All right, we're getting down to let's see. This is our 11th contestant, Angelin Tipton from Floriology. So that's very exciting. Congratulations, Angelin.
Congratulations, Angeline.
And who is she competing against?
Hmm.
Oh, Bayo Tram Doe. And
I
I don't
saw that
know
one
where
with a
she is.
chair. Very
Emerald City
elegant.
Flowers. And she's in Washington State. So there in Florida, Washington State, you can't get any further apart,
Yeah,
but they're
yeah.
duel it out.
Cross
So
country.
very exciting. All right. Who are our last final contestants here? Jenna from
Woo!
Rosa. We all know her. She's gonna get a
We
lot of
all love
just
her.
because we love.
She reached out to me and she was so nervous. I'm like, oh, this is my first contest. I don't know. What should I do? And then, but I think she made a very good, beautiful product.
Gorgeous, gorgeous. We love it. Congratulations, Jenna. Who are you competing against?
Hmm.
All right, heavy hitter here with Kim Brannon, um, Jenny Thomason's mother. So she's a really good designer. So you guys got to
Okay.
compete.
She learned from the best, right?
I know, really exciting. She used a lot of delphinium in hers. Love that. All right, and then our final two contestants. We have Sarah Eckberg and last but not least, certainly not least, Christy Berry is competing and she made a dinosaur, which I am really excited about
Nice.
seeing how people like that. So that's it. Those are our
Be
contestants.
creative.
Very much. I think this duel is going to go great. And congratulations to everybody that got selected to do this. It wasn't easy selecting it. I think we had almost 300 people that applied. So it was definitely a tough competition, but it's all about the votes and who gets the most votes who are going to win that prize. So
But I'm really happy that all 300 people got interested in what we're doing. I think there's a good chance that now delphiniums are going to be all over their designs. I'm so happy about it.
yeah. And hopefully they won't take to just beating them over the head with a flower. And actually, that won't become a thing. But maybe that could go viral. You could,
Hey,
you know.
as long as they're buying them, you know,
Yeah, right.
that's a sale.
So what are you most excited about to see from this year's contestants, like the participants?
I saw a lot of creativity. For instance, I don't remember who it was, but you know, delphiniums, they come from Delphs, from the delphinium in the sea, right? And one of the designs had a shape of a delphinium, an actual delphinium. Is
Okay.
it was really cute. It's very creative. Then there's another one. I think they inspired themselves from a from a painting, and they try to simulate the painting into the design. So that was like, people are getting out of their ways to be the most creative and think then doing things very differently. And
Yeah.
not I'm not looking to the standard delphinium installation where these are big spikes, but something that is totally different, unconventional.
Yeah. No, I
Like
really
the
like that.
delphinium spray, how they use the delphinium spray. And that's
Yeah.
something that they were not aware of. Or the delphinium tricks, those were the soft lavender, yellow, or purple colors in a very light pastel colors. How did they incorporate those into the designs?
Yeah, well, I know this was such a quick turnaround, and there were a few people that didn't get their boxes. So we still want to see your designs so we can showcase and share them with everybody. So if you weren't selected, please just keep in mind we could only limit it to 8 rounds. If we didn't, we would almost had to double it or triple. So that would have just taken way too long. So this is it. But what are your guys's what is Ball's future goals for breeding and innovation? Anything upcoming on the horizon that you can share, or is it
Yeah,
Tell me.
well, we're constantly looking for things that are unconventional. Uh, I mentioned the Ageratum JJ, which is this purplish, fluffy, kind of like gypsum with less stems, status. I don't know. It's very different, and we've shown it almost for a year now, and we already have a couple of commercial programs. So we're very excited because that one really went on a very fast track. So within 2 years that we've been working on it here, we already have a commercial program. But that's something that we're excited about, looking for different things that are not the conventional. We're working on dahlias. I know everyone loves dahlias, and the dahlias that are currently in the market, they only have a base life of 5 to 6 days after traveling. I know they're not very long. They're not cannot stand for a very long time. So we're looking for dahlias, two dahlias that can last between 8 to 10 to 12 days on the baseline. So that will give it another usage that is not just an event, put it up and tear it down, but maybe you can have a longer life in a regular home. So we're working a lot on different varieties, a lot of trials right now, and hopefully in the near future we'll have more news about those. We're also working on ranunculus that also have a little bit of a problem that have thin stems, they don't travel that well. So we're working on those. So we have a lot of in the pipeline, things that can be focals, but not necessarily are have the best quality out there in the market. And we want to bring those barriers. We want to bring flowers that can beat those barriers.
Yeah, no, you're always trying to one up your game and like make our lives better and have better products. So that's what we appreciate you guys for. And we love what you're doing because you're innovating and giving, creating these fantastic colors that make our lives, just so much better. And, if our
More
flower
variety to choose
longer.
from, more things to work with, play with, be
Yeah,
creative with.
absolutely. Well, we've gone to this section. I don't know if you've watched our Details University live before, but we always do a rapid fire.
I've
So
seen it. I've seen it. Let's see what I can come up with.
are you ready, Carmen, to participate in
I'm
our
ready. Yes.
Let's go. So, what is your favorite word in another language?
Um, I don't know. English counts, right? Love.
I don't know.
Amort. Amort. I don't know if that is in Italian.
What does that mean?
Amor, love. Amor in
Oh,
Spanish.
okay, good. I figured, but I didn't know. Um, what is what is your favorite drink of choice?
Wine. White wine.
White wine. And any
Chardonnay to be more specific.
okay, lovely. Like
And
a
if I'm in Europe, Verdejo. It's
very
a Spaniard cepa.
that would be my favorite word. W-
Cepa or Verdejo.
Yes.
That's true. Let me change it.
Okay. What is your favorite word in another language?
Verdejo.
What does that mean?
It's a type of wine in Spain.
Oh, good. What is your favorite flower?
Dahlias.
Mm. So you're making them
Dahlias.
work extra hard on that flower because that's your favorite. You're like, do better.
That's exactly right.
Yes. So what is one item that you cannot leave your home without?
My sunblock.
Oh, that's a good one.
Always traveling around my sunblock with my sunblock, whether it's the office, in the mornings, traveling everywhere. That's my
See,
best friend for right now.
you're gonna have the most glowing skin as you age. Um, what is your favorite season? Summer, winter, spring, or fall?
Girl, I live in Colombia. We only have two seasons, dry or wet. Definitely the summertime when it's not raining.
Oh, well, that's perfect. That makes sense. I know. Right there on the equator, you don't really get
I
much very.
But I do like
Are
the
you
winter because of the clothing. In Bogota, it gets pretty cold in the morning, so I always like dressing up with the coats and sweaters. So it's nice.
you get your boots out finally?
I have them out all year round.
Good.
But
Morning or evening time? What do you
morning,
prefer?
morning. I wake
Yeah.
up at 5 a.m., go to the gym, and by 7 or 8, I'm in the office, like very speedy. And by 7 or 8 p.m., I'm all right. I'm already looking for a bed. I'm like, where's my bed? Where's my bed?
That's amazing. I like that
Um,
consistency, Carmen. What's a hobby you've always wanted to try but haven't?
a hobby, speaking a third language.
Okay.
I tried it with Italian. I went to a class for 3 months and I dropped that out because it was too difficult to learn a third language. And I just didn't have the time. But I wanted to take it back. If I could have a couple of hours in the afternoon where I can do something that I like you said, it would be speaking up the third language.
That's good. And we have a bunch of people that are online that are so excited and they're super excited for the contest and the thank you so much. So there you go. Um, Carmen, are you more of a thinker or a doer?
I'm a doer. I
Take action.
get some I act right away. I don't let the things stand by for a while because I'm too anxious. I'm too anxious. I do think about it a little bit, but I don't look at all the premises to just make sure that everything is 100% perfect because nothing is perfect in this life. I just take the right variables and go for it.
Wonderful. Where is a place you'd most like to travel?
Greece to all a tour in the Mediterranean. I haven't had that opportunity yet. So if you want to come along, we can go and do a cruise in the Mediterranean and see what's out there with the
Sign
islands.
me up. Yes.
Oh,
Where is that? Where is it? The Santorina? No. What is
Santorini, Santorini.
Santorini? Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not very well traveled. What is for dinner tonight?
Hmm. I don't know because there's a football game, soccer, for the World Cup for 2026. Colombia's playing against Paraguay, and we're going to a Mexican restaurant. So I guess
Okay,
it's something Mexican. That's for dinner tonight, and
nice.
surely a lot of margaritas.
Oh, that's my girl. What is your go-to karaoke song?
Shakira, pies descalzos. Pies descalzos, tanana blanca fuiste, bum, bum, bum. It's a very old song. It was one of my favorite singers when I was a teenager, and she's still going around doing concerts and with many new songs there. But her oldies are the best. That was
Her
from,
hips don't lie.
huh?
Yeah. I said her hips don't lie.
Oh yeah, her hips
Yeah.
don't lie. I can't move like that though.
What
But
is your favorite dance move? And will you show us? You got to do some Shakira.
Shakira, the hips don't lie. The hip thing.
No, I don't know. What's a song that always puts you in a good mood?
There's a song, I forget, it's a Colombian singer that says, "Qué bonita es esta vida." It's how beautiful is this life.
Oh,
It's from a style that's vallenato, very Colombian. That's some of the things that I have picked up over the years. That talks about the gratitude and how life can be very beautiful. It's awesome. If I look for it, I'll look it up and send the link, and hopefully you can do some Google Translate, and you'll see it's a hymn. It's a rhythm. It's a national anthem almost. Qué bonita es
we'll
esta
put it
vida.
over as a overlay to this video so people know what it is. They can download it.
I'm gonna write it here in the notes. Qué bonita es esta vida. From Jorge Celedón.
Okay. And if you could have any superpower, what would it be and why?
I would love to be transparent so that I can be like invisible, so that I
Hmm.
can be in different scenarios to see what's happening behind the scenes, kind of nobody noticing what's going on, and I can get all the insights and get the first time information right there for
I love it.
everything. Uh-huh.
Yeah, that would be the way to go. I know. I like it. Invisible Carmen. There you are. So if you're not invisible though, how can people reach out to you if they want it, if they have questions?
Can I be invisible? No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, don't ask her any questions. She's no.
No, no, no. You can when I'm always very open when people approach to me and they're like, "Ooh, is how can I get this variety or what's the process?" I just tell them, "Hey, you know what? Send me an email. Tell me what area you're in. I can see what wholesaler is in that area, and if the wholesaler currently doesn't have that variety, then I can get a hold of them and tell them which farm is growing it. So that way you can still get all the newest or the commercial variety. So you can send me an email at cmarquez at ballsb.com. I can write it down in the messaging part as well. But hey, my biggest objective is for everyone to be ordering the flowers that we have, and I'm more than willing always to help you source it. I know it's sometimes very difficult. It's sometimes they're not on the national level yet, or you could only find it because only a small farm or only a farm is doing, I'm sorry, only a farm is doing a small scale production, and sometimes it won't be fully available, but I can do my best.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's just something that people need to learn about when you're developing new products. It's gonna take a while before they kind of catch on, but that's the importance of asking your wholesalers for them. And I feel like if with all the shipments that we did, really, I want to implore to people to buy from your local wholesaler. Like you really need to use that cold storage mechanism to get the best life out of the product. Because I know we did have some challenges with some things, mainly like FedEx losing boxes or something. So you just never know when you're doing that farm direct if if something will make it. And this is has been the perfect
And
example of
because
it.
they have already had the right transportation with refrigerated system that they made it cross country and
Yeah.
not depend on FedEx whether you have put overnight or not, they can still get an issue and get stuck in one of their distribution centers.
Yeah. Well, and that's really one of the important things with that flower feeling too is we want people to use flowers, but if the flowers are not going to live their longest life, just based on different scenarios, that's doing a disservice to our product as well. So kind of keep in mind those chains and why they're there, right? So anyway.
Right.
But I'm excited to see how this contest shakes out. I'm sure we're going to be getting together over the next few weeks until we announce a winner on April 11th. So voting is going to start tomorrow morning, and we look forward to seeing who's going to take home the duel, to be the challenge winner. So thank you, Carmen, and to the Society of American Florists for helping sponsor this uh, fantastic event. And I'm just excited to see who's going to be the
And
big winner.
whoever is the winner, if I don't know you yet, I'm very excited to meet you guys in when is the convention? In August. In August,
Yes, it's Phoenix, Arizona. So that is quite the prize. But we'll
let's
have to do
let's
this
have
again.
a drink all together with SAF, Corinne and I, with the winner.
Yes, we will have we'll probably we should host something. We should do a little
Yeah.
fun gathering there or something. So more
Even with all
stay
the
tuned.
contestants, all the participants.
Absolutely. It would be great to do a group shot. So thank you guys. And if anybody needs anything, please feel free to reach out. And we are just so delighted to have you, Carmen, as a partner and as a guest. And thank you so much for sharing with us this last hour.
Thank you, and thanks everybody for participating. Good luck.
Thank you guys for tuning in. And this concludes our details masterclass for March. Thank you, Carmen.
Thank you. Bye bye, everyone.